There's this one topic right now that I feel so much passion and fire for because I really feel like it's the next level. And I think we're high time and we're craving towards getting there, but we somehow don't know how to get there. And this is a new definition of what leadership is. And in my personal experience, I call that sovereign leadership. And I really want to go into what to actually mean with sovereign leadership. What does leadership mean? Because I think all the words we can take apart and then come back together into what does it mean for yourself and how can we actually transform our lives through that. So for me, leadership is something that I think we see portrayals of it out there in the world so often, and then if we do bring it back to the core, it feels like it's actually not so much clarity around it. Because what if leadership doesn't have to just be in business, but what if leadership is like part of your life? And leadership means being so aware of what your truth is and having clarity around that you can step out there into the world and really lead your life in every area with this truth, with this embodiment, with this is me. And this doesn't have to be powerful, because I think leadership is often linked to power and power over other people. But what if true leadership actually could be everything? Softness, sensuality, sadness, grief, anger, just basically any topic you could think about. What if leadership is exactly that? Leadership basically means nothing else than being human with everything that you are and leading your life from there. Instead of being crippled by it or being pushed down, you're choosing to make this your tool, choosing to make this your passion and that which gives you thrive. And from this, you move forward. So in that sense, sovereignty means for me, it's very much linked to the royal aspect. And here I want to share that for me, the queen, especially the inner queen, is an archetype I very much connect with. And I find archetypes so beautiful because they give us such an understanding of what we can connect within ourselves. So the queen, she's not someone that overrules over somebody else, but she rather rules from integrity within herself, very much linked to her heart center, which means she rules in compassion to the higher good of everyone. I mean, this is gorgeous and beautiful. And at the same time, again, here, we don't really have healthy embodiments of queen archetypes out there. So it's a whole redefinition of what is truly a queen and what truly makes you sovereign in that sense. So, and therefore, how can you lead in sovereignty, which means basically you in touch with yourself, in integrity of what is true to you, and with that move out there. And I definitely see that as so powerful, because if more people are stepping into that, we can start becoming the inspiration that everyone around us needs. Inspiration is the way forward. It's me choosing to do my work. So I'm clearing the channels within me. I'm clearing my body within me, my inside, my shadows, and looking at all of that. And with that, I'm stepping out there as a human that is in touch with myself in full integrity as much as we can. Don't thrive for perfectionism. Perfectionism doesn't exist. It's an illusion. But it's like with who we are stepping out there, and there is such a, in my opinion, such a radiance. It's not a radiance of having to push down all the negative emotions and having to constantly be in a good mood and constantly be in like a thrive mode. And everything is good. You know, I mean, I think we all do. We all know these human beings that, especially on Instagram, they show themselves as constantly having everything figured out and always thriving. Let me tell you, before I recorded this video, I've had quite an intense day. I'm on day 3 of my bleed as well. So I'm very much not that much in my mind. I'm very much more in my body. But what if I thrive from this nonetheless, and I inspire through showing up with whatever I feel, which is maybe a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of vulnerability of showing up here and talking about a topic like that, where I actually at the moment feel more soft and gentle, where I at the moment also have big questions where I'm like, where am I going in life? What are my motivations? And this is this is powerful, showing up as just yourself with everything that you are. I feel like this is really what we are craving, realness, authenticity, and authenticity is also such a chewed up and spit out word, but for me it's realness. And I really crave that, because I feel like no matter where you go, you see people having on masks, pretending they're good, pretending they have everything figured out, but they're never showing you their real selves. And you're just here guessing and thinking, okay, it must be doing everything right. What am I doing wrong? Because I actually feel like shit. So what if we all fucking drop these masks and we just become radically, authentically real? And this, especially because I have created this term, or using this term quite often, is what I call the soft whisper revolution. Because in my opinion, the time where we fight and go out there and create war to create a revolution is done. The true revolution that I feel like really deeply in my core is a revolution that comes through me changing my own reality, me looking at myself, me becoming the inspiration and planting the seeds in other people that are like, oh, wow, I want to do, I want to be where she's at. What do I need to do to get there? Oh, I need to look at myself and find my truth and live my truth. And this is a soft whispered revolution, because it doesn't come in loud shouted words, but it actually comes in softness. It becomes in just someone standing in the room and embodying truth and radical authenticity. And through that, we inspire others to follow and also start being a bit more unabashedly themselves. And let's make it really, really simple here. For me, I use this example all the time, but because I just know it's the truth, we all have clothes in our wardrobes that we're only wearing for special occasion. You all know this one dress, this one pair of shoes, this shirt that is like too colorful and stunning and glittery to wear every other day. But I'm like, who makes these rules? Who makes these rules that I can't wear the most stunning dress today to go food shopping, to meet my friends for a casual cafe over lunch? And I feel like we are limiting and hindering ourselves all the time with that. And this is so funny because we're doing it in multiple ways. We keep ourselves small, and we're also afraid, yeah, and through that we're afraid to show ourselves and our bigness. It's like I don't want to attract too much attention, but it also can't be too little, so I need to find this fine balanced line in the middle, just super exhausting. And I'm like, who really wants that? Do you really want to be in this balanced middle all the time, or do you actually want to play the game that is like dancing with everything that brings life? Who says that you can't wear your most stunning outfit tomorrow? Who says that you can't go with your like trashy outfit to a lunch meetup? What is it that you really feel at the core of your being? What is your truth, an honest truth right now? For me, what is very interesting, I'm not following it right now actually, is often when I'm bleeding, my body desires to wear black because it feels more heavy and it feels more internal and it's like more connected to this void energy. So if I do that, I feel more softness and I feel more like I'm being myself in that moment. Whereas in other parts of my cycle, I might wear something completely different. This is also leadership. It's taking ownership of what feels true for you in such a beautiful, simple way. So if I want to speak about more areas, just so you have like a tangible step, this is relationships. Are you speaking your truth with everyone around you? And I'm not just meaning your partnership. Relationship for me, and I'm like also a huge fan to redefine that. Relationships we have with every single person in our life. Because a relationship, when we break it down, basically just means I have a relation to someone. So I'm always like a little bit taken back when people say like, I'm not ready for a relationship and I'm not open towards that. I'm like, we are having a relationship. We're not in a partnership, but we are having a relationship. So every single relationship, and what I see often, and also in myself, like I'm still so often doing it, the people pleasing, saying what we think someone else needs to hear it, acting in a way what we think we need to act in. And especially like something I've tried to embody a bit more in lately in a few places was what about if we leave conversations when we don't feel them and we actually don't enjoy them? And that is a really hard one, but it happens so often. It's hard to stop people in the middle and say, hey, actually, can we talk about this another time? Or, hey, I'm not feeling it. I actually want to go to sleep. I really can highly recommend that to practice this just a tiny bit more because you're not doing anyone a favor. If you're sitting with a person that doesn't feel the boundaries, I'm a big person with boundaries. So I'm also big in doing like this subtle, sometimes you could also call them passive aggressive boundaries, where I feel like my face becomes blank, I become more like a bit frustrated, and I'm just putting myself back, like in a position of like, you would know now that I'm not interested. But people who are not so good with boundaries, they don't understand that. So actually, it's way more powerful if I'm just honest with them. So they get to learn and also get to see, because if I'm not upholding my boundaries, who else is responsible for that? And I can say from all my own experience, when we start experimenting with boundaries more and more and more, we actually are triggering people a lot. I was born in Switzerland, and I feel like in Switzerland, it's such a people pleaser place that if you, especially as a woman, have strong boundaries to say yes and no, for example, as a child, I never used to like having to give 3 kisses on the cheek to adults. For me, that was way too close, and I didn't want that. And even now, as an adult, I don't like it. So sometimes just have to say hi, give the hand. So you're setting a boundary, and this is interesting because you're challenging people a lot through doing that. People are not used to that at all. Someone saying no to something that is custom in a country. And still, I think this is very important because if we continuously override our own boundaries, we also start learning that I don't matter. Me and my desires don't matter. I have to act in a certain way to be accepted and to be somebody, and that is not okay. And also, we're teaching others again that they don't can overstep our boundaries all the time. And this is a very deep, unsafe space to be in. So to bring it back around this, in a sovereign leadership, boundaries are really gorgeous and nice. And that doesn't mean I'm pushing people out. It just means I'm allowing people into my field the way that feels best for me. And in turn, I also accept people's boundaries and I listen to that, which actually I think makes life much more easy. I personally like if someone can set healthy boundaries with me, because then I know this is where I can comfortably move towards without doing anything that hurts them. So that's why, yes, it's a huge part and an important part, especially in relationships, as well as in other fields, obviously. If we have the work field, that's an interesting one because, yes, maybe you're self employed. So leadership looks way different because you kind of have to be the leader in every area. If you are employed by someone, it's also saying your needs and desires, for example. I'm making very basic examples here. I just want to make it a little bit more tangible. So, really, if you feel like into it, it's actually really every area of your life. And that's why I don't just want to tell you where it is. I want you to go and explore and really see for yourself, where can you step up more? And that's important. Maybe just start with one single step today, because we don't have to overstimulate our system and push ourselves too much, because also what happens usually, we sabotage it. If it's too much, we sabotage it. So, what is that one step that you can step up to do more? And I think for me, it's again saying no more when I don't enjoy company or a conversation, because I'm actually saying yes to myself in that moment. And that is very powerful and important. And in that sense, what is really important here to share as well is, why is this so important nowadays? Because we have been conditioned at a very young age already, like in our families and often at school, in school, yes, that we have to follow someone else's leadership, that we are not someone who knows anything. We're not like sovereign of we are not self-thinking beings, therefore we just have to follow. So this is very deeply ingrained in all of our systems and DNAs. And then what often happens some point in your adulthood, you might have gone through this for many years and you realize like, this feels off, this isn't me. And then you hit a point where you're like, okay, what is actually me? And then this feels really lost. And then sometimes you find some self-help books, you find some teachers, some gurus that you follow for a while, and again you're actually not following your own authentic truth, and you're again a little bit lost. So this is why it's so important, because I think especially for the next generation, we want to create a generation of sovereign thinking beings, of beings who know what they want, of beings who know who they are, who can speak their truth and to stand up for themselves. We don't want other sheep and machines of people that are super traumatized, and then at one point in their adulthood they have to go through all the shit show we had to go through. I don't want that on anyone, to remove everything and looking at all the drama. What if people at a very young age actually start learning, this is what I want and this is what I don't want? Like, just if you're going into that topic, the topic of choosing the job you want to do, my generation, this is so tough. And mostly we just do something because it pays well, because our parents did it, or because someone told us to do it. And then we hit our 30s and we're like, wait, this doesn't make me happy. I have to change my whole career. And then you have an overwhelm of, there is so many things out there, but what is truly me and what do I enjoy doing? And everyone does this. So maybe I follow this. And then you realize, no, 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 no. So what if we put a shift into that? And a shift of like, realizing what is your potential, realizing what your gifts are very early on, so that you from this can move on, inspire others, and become even bigger. So it's really a radical shift in our society is needed, and this shift starts with you. This is the step we can all do, and this is where it's so powerful to speak about these topics, because I think we can all change something here, and the change starts within yourself first and foremost. So this, the first step for you is, where are you not living your truth yet? Where are you still denying what you truly want? Where are you still denying where what you want to wear, what you want to eat, what you who you want to be? And how can you step one tiny bit more into that? I've just recently given a workshop, and I had one woman say from now on what her step will be, she will change her posture from sitting there like this in especially work meetings when no one was paying attention. She will shift into shoulders back and upright. And I was like, this is powerful, because the moment she will do that in a business meeting, I am 100% sure everyone will suddenly turn towards her and like, what do you have to say about that? So, what can be this one step that you can do? I'm super happy to chat with you about that. And I'm super happy to empower every single person that listens to this into your steps. So, reach out to me, like and subscribe, whatever is needed, comment, and I will make sure to support you as much as I can in following exactly that, because this is the change that is needed in this world, and the change starts with you. I can't repeat it more enough. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And the sovereign leadership is one step closer. And if you are more curious, I have many spaces coming up where we're actually going to dive into this in a group space, because I think that's even more powerful, because then we can mutually inspire each other to move forward. So thank you so much.